to another episode of In the Kitchen with the Breakfast Brothers. I'm Luscious Barbie, and I'll be guiding through today's episode. I'm so excited to present today's guest. On today's episode, we have the co-owner of Urban Trivia, Stanley Newcomer. We also have an amazing global leader, Lakendra Smalley. And now, the moment that we've all been waiting for, the man in the kitchen, connecting the dots from entertainment to food, giving us wisdom every day. Give it up for our host, Ricky Booker.
Welcome back to a brand new episode of In the Kitchen with the Breakfast Brothers. I'm your host, Ricky Booker. There are so many things in the world brings us together. Good food, a little bit of conversation does it every time. And in the Kitchen with the Breakfast Brothers, we love feeding your soul. Today's guest, he's an entrepreneur, rapper, a host, co-owner of Urban Trivia. Let's give a warm welcome for Stanley Newcomer. Hey, what's going on, man? Going good?
Yes, sir.
I see you got Dallas on, but you be worldwide.
We everywhere, international, domestic, whatever you want to do.
We want to get right into this. I usually talk about food on this segment,
okay?
But I want to know, what is Urban Trivia?
I mean, you want to just play it with me?
Yeah, come on. Let me call a few of the hosts in. Let's a few of the guests in. Come on, come over here, Amber. Come on over here, Luscious. Let me see if y'all smart enough to understand what's going on.
See what y'all.
Come on right here, Amber. Come on right here.
I'm ready.
Let's see what y'all know. All right, since this is the Breakfast Brothers, I need y'all to settle this debate. It's not, a correct answer, but settle this debate. How do you eat your grits? Sugar or salt and pepper?
It's no question, it's sugar.
Sugar and butter.
Right, and butter, a lot of it.
Unless it's at the Breakfast Brothers, because I like it with the southern gravy.
With the gravy is good. Yes, the gravy is real good.
I personally agree. Like, if the grits is good, I'm not adding no sugar. But if your grits ain't that good,
but see, I like sugar and butter, but what I did to the grits, I make them where you can have it anyway. Sugar and butter, salt and pepper, or just dry. I put some Cajun gravy on it. You can have it. I don't eat it that way, but in the South, you're supposed to eat it that way. So sugar and butter for me.
All right. Next question. On the show, Martin, what kind of sandwich did Martin give to Miss Jerry at the bus station? Is it A, ham, B, tuna, C, turkey, or D, bologna?
Bologna. D, bologna.
Tuna? I don't.
Y'all guessing now.
I'm a guess.
If Bruh didn't get out the refrigerator,
Of course, the correct answer is tuna.
I
don't need no damn tuna. What? All right, next question. Prior to heading to the family function, what is the main question black people ask before heading out? Is it A, you need anything, B, who on the grill, C, what's on the menu, or D, who all over there?
Who all over there?
Who pulling up? Who coming?
You gonna have some function that somebody ain't gonna like.
Hey man, listen,
Uncle Willie.
Uncle Willie ain't coming. All right, next question. Finish the lyric. She ain't nothing but a hoochie mama.
Hoochie mama.
Two hood rats.
Okay. The hood rats know. They know. All right, last question. On the movie Coming to America, how does McDowell's differ from McDonald's? Is it A, golden arches, B, seedless buns, C, the Big Mac, or D, 2 all beef patties?
The golden arches.
Seedless buns.
2 all beef patties?
No, they both got that.
They both got that.
It is seedless buns.
Yes.
Wow.
It is seedless
I
buns.
must pay attention more than I think.
See, they got seeds on their buns. We have seedless buns. So it's questions about like movies, music, TV, and growing up, things like that. So we also have the first edition and the second edition. All of those questions came from the second edition.
Okay.
And we also do a live game show.
Okay. So what we're gonna do? We're gonna do this at the sit down again and see who's smarter. Cause I didn't answer none of the questions right. I was all messed up. But
You answered one.
Stay tuned. All right, we're here at the sit down with Stanley Newcomer of Urban Trivia, and he ordered catfish and grits. Man, our lovely Amber is bringing it to us.
Stanley, are you ready for us to feed or something?
I am.
I always let people get a few bites out before we start talking. But we're gonna have a conversation like we at home. Just dig in. You don't have to be proper either, man. You gotta pick it up with your hand and eat like we do. Yeah. Get some of them grits and gravy with it. That's why I was telling you earlier in the kitchen, the gravy and the grits together. So, you gotta think about that butter and sugar before you say that. Is it mean? Is it mean? I'm telling
That's
you.
it right there.
Yeah.
That's it right there.
But man, we gonna talk, and I'm gonna let you eat. And anytime you feel like you want to take a bite, same time. Just like being at the table at home. Getting started with urban trivia. How did you start that?
Man, so it's me and my 3 other partners. So Darren, which is our DJ Almost Famous. Marcus, he owns Eye Opener Entertainment. Started out as a club promoter. He's gonna hate that I said that, but it is what it was.
I was a club promoter before.
Yeah, so so he's a promoter, and then our other partner Jason, so he does photography and things like that. So we actually met at work, of all things, right?
Okay.
So Marcus was actually a supervisor. We met at Sprint, and it just kind of went from there. We started out as as a live event, and we would do like little small cafes. We started in Arlington at a place called Hot Box. Probably had about 40, 50 people,
right.
Our first one, but, we just kept growing and growing and growing. But then, honestly, Cafe 214 is what really gave us like our start, because they believed in us after the pandemic when nobody else would take a chance on us.
Right?
Yeah, in Addison, yep.
They got pretty good food over there too.
Yeah, for sure. And so, shout out to them for believing in us and keeping this thing going. Like after the pandemic, we had maybe, 10, 15 people, and they like, come on back, do it again. Like, we like, you sure? They like, yeah, man, come on, So, but during the pandemic, when we couldn't do live shows, we started doing Zoom. And we would get so many people on Zoom. I was like, man, let's make it a card game. And so that's literally how that came about. So this is our pandemic baby, honestly.
Right.
So.
It's grown into where you are now. Let's talk a little bit about where you just came from and some of the events you hosted so far.
So, like I said, we started out little cafes, and things like that. But now we do a spot in Plano called Legacy Hall. So our biggest one was after our launch of the second edition last year, and we had like 2,500 people up there. Like it was
playing a
crazy.
Card game.
Well, on the live we play on your phone and TV screens.
Okay.
So it's not quite the card game, but we bringing it in person.
Right.
So it's when if the question's about a song, we're gonna play the song after, and like everybody gonna sing, and man, it's
that many people is involved, regardless if it's 10 card players or not. It's 25 people involved in this whole urban trivia thing.
Yeah.
Man, you just got back from Dominican Republic doing this thing. So tell us about that experience.
Yeah, so shout out to the Memorial Day getaway. They just reached out and was like, man, like we'd love to bring this to the DR for Memorial Day, and the check was right, and we went.
That's what it's about.
For sure.
And also, in our culture, the Essence Festival is pretty huge too. You went to the Essence Festival as well.
So we actually did a corporate gig with them. So it was with Procter & Gamble, working on the My Black is Beautiful campaign. And so basically they hired me to do Man on the Street. So on our Instagram, you'll see us doing Man on the Street. Me and my creative director, we just go down to Deep Ellum, ask people questions and stuff like that. We had a lot of viral moments, you know what I'm saying? So definitely shout out to TikTok and Instagram for that platform.
So you got urban trivia and you in transition. You also a rapper, and your name is Saint Row.
Man, you
just released the album.
It's called Breakfast with Breadwinners. So shout out to my guy Star. So it's a collaborative project with my guy Star Music, and we've been rapping for a long time. Like we did shows with Nipsey Hussle, been on tour with like Royce the 5'9" and Joe Budden and
you've
stuff.
Been on tour with some
so we've been at this for a while, and but because of the success of urban trivia, I just didn't want to rap no more. I'm like, man, like urban trivia gave me everything that I wanted. It gave me that creative outlet. I'm still rocking crowds and stuff like that. But then I got to a point where I was like, man, I still had that itch, like to still write.
Right.
So I was actually talking to Mr. Hankey. He's a producer. Exactly.
I got a musical background too. Okay. I never rap.
Okay.
I've been around.
So shout out to Mr. Hankey. So he's like, man, if you still want to do it, like just do it, like just put it out. And that's what we did, and it's just
Now, how'd you come up with the name Breakfast with Breadwinners? Because, you know, you be getting a lot of shameless plugs.
No,
Breadwinners.
no. It was just like, it was literally like, I think of like, well, if you want to go with it, honestly, it was it's a restaurant in Atlanta called Breakfast with Barney's, or Breakfast at Barney's. So I was like, oh, Breadwinners is local. Breakfast at Breadwinners.
Gotcha.
And then Star was like, we should make it with Breadwinners, like we're the breadwinners. I was like, okay, I like that. So
that makes sense.
that's how it kind of went.
Social media has, you know, expanded a lot of business these days, virally or however, because, you know, when it comes to the background of promotions, you can promote anything on there.
Right.
So, you know, you just spoke on a little bit about urban trivia having viral moments.
Man.
So social media was a big moment for you guys too during the pandemic and doing the whole overall concept.
Yeah, man. Honestly, like, shout out to my creative director, Dennis. Like, we started doing like, not necessarily man on the street, but I was just asking questions in one of my spare bedrooms and just uploading them. I was like, man, this ain't working. And he was like, let's just go like to Deep Ellum and just ask people on the street. I was like, that's it. And we just stayed consistent with it, you know. So we would get, you know, a couple thousand views, and you know, and you're like, okay.
I want you to repeat something, because I say this all the time, even in my meetings at the restaurant, in the kitchen, the food, recipes, ingredients. You just stay what?
Consistent.
That's what it's about.
That's it.
If you got a little hole in the wall restaurant, and then you turn it into a mogul restaurant and don't taste the same, inconsistency will ruin you.
Yeah.
So you got to stay consistent.
And honestly, that's what got us here. That's what got us here today. Like, just because we kept going. Like I said, with our first, you know, live events, we didn't have many people, you know, but who would have thought that we would have been able to tour this thing 5 years later? We just stayed with it. We just stayed consistent, bet on ourselves, and believed in it.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So like, we didn't quit our jobs. It's just, this is full time.
You got any upcoming events that you want to speak on?
Dallas. So we got Tampa this weekend, June 10th. We got Atlanta, July 8th. But Milwaukee is July 14th, and Dallas is July 15th. And then we actually going to Oklahoma City on July 29th.
Now I'm gonna ask you this, being like I always throw this in my background, you know, promotions. Just like you say, you got partners that used to be club promoters. Are y'all trying to put any of your new album where you may be performing something? You getting in front of all these people, you might have a song that you want to perform.
I keep the brand separate. Okay. I keep it separate. I don't mix it like that. Okay. You know, I mean, it just, I don't know, it just feels cheesy. It don't feel good to me. Like, oh, you was just trying to put that album, like, nah.
You're right about that.
You know,
you got to keep it separate.
It has to be organic.
You don't want to ruin what urban trivia captivated.
Exactly.
You know, I have people all the time want to do events at the restaurant. I won't let them, because as soon as you let somebody do it and promote, it'll turn it into an event center. Nobody don't look at the family environment anymore. Yeah. Some people look at me crazy that I won't do it. But it ain't always about the money. It's the brand is the most important purpose.
That's the biggest thing. Right. Keeping the brands together.
What's next?
Man, more man on the street, more corporate partnerships. We worked with Foot Locker and Capital One and Lockheed Martin and Redfin. So we got a lot of that stuff lined up. Trying to put together a HBCU tour for the fall, and more live shows. We're just putting a tour together, and you know, hopefully you'll see me on the tube one day. You know, a little urban trivia TV show. You'll
be able to do it. You stay consistent.
Yeah, for sure.
And you know, I might give you a plug. Let's talk a little bit off.
Let's put it together.
All right. Tell everybody where they can find you if they want to book an event and they want to know anything about urban trivia.
So you can get tickets at urbantriviaexperience.com. You can get the game, first edition, second edition, on Amazon, Walmart.com, and urbantriviagame.com. You can follow me at Stanley Newcomer. Everything is spelled correctly. You can also follow Urban Trivia at Urban Trivia Game on TikTok and The Urban Trivia Game on Instagram.
You heard it right here from Mr. Stanley Smalley himself, Urban Trivia. Stay tuned. Coming up next, we got Lakendra Smalley.
Our next guest, she's an entrepreneur, a mentor, global leader, and also certified master life and business coach. Let's give a warm welcome for Lakendra Smalley.
Hey, come on in here.
jack of all trades.
I am.
Glad to have you on the show.
Thank you for having me.
But you know, I'm gonna jump right in this.
Okay.
Cause I love talking about the disasters. And the weirdest thing, I love Butterfingers. I got a pack of them. I was just eating some last night. Tell me how you mess up my Butterfingers.
Okay, so when I was younger, I was born with an attention deficit disorder. So it's a learning disability. So basically, I couldn't go in the kitchen because I may forget that I'm cooking something. So I was forbidden to go in the kitchen. But on this day, my cousin was over and we wanted to bake a cake, right? So I'm like, well, I got somebody here with me that can monitor me, so let's bake this cake. Child, he wasn't no good. Because we forgot we were cooking butter. Because, I'm watching my grandmother bake this cake and she had to melt the butter. So we want to be fancy, we want to do it on the stove. And then we go out, we start playing.
Oh my God.
We forget the butter is on the stove. And we just smelled it, and all of a sudden the smoke detectors are going out. We go in the kitchen, the stove is on fire. We burnt the kitchen.
Oh wow.
Like the stove, the ventilator, like everything.
So you're not allowed in kitchens to this day, right?
Well, now I'm a little bit more mature so mindful, but I still, like, just yesterday we had a little issue, but we ain't gonna talk about that.
Okay, that's good. All good. Long as you got somebody that know how to do some type of cooking.
Yes.
That's all good though. We're gonna talk a little bit more at the sit down because I'm real interested about what a life coach is.
Okay.
But if I ask you now, I might be sitting here asking you more and more. So at the sit down, we're gonna get into that. All right, we're here at the sit down with Lakendra Smalley, and she ordered lobster mac and cheese and our collard greens, and our lovely Amber is bringing it.
Lakendra, you ready for us to feed your soul?
Oh yeah, that she really ready for us to feed us. So I'm gonna let you jump right into that because let you get a few bites.
This looks so good.
Oh, wait till you try it. You gotta come sit it down at the restaurant too.
I want to be sloppy.
No, that's all right. This is how we do at this table.
Okay. That's good.
She said, she good. You know how when it comes to, there's one thing about it, women is the biggest foodies in the creed when it comes to food.
This is good.
Okay. See, that's for real. That's an organic. This is good. Ain't no faking or shaking. So you like it? Do we feed your soul?
I love it. Like, I can eat it again.
Okay. We're gonna let you eat as much as you want in a second. I gotta jump right in because this is what I've been wanting to know the whole time. What is a life coach? I know what a football coach is, but a life coach, I don't know.
So let me tell you what a life coach isn't,
Okay.
because I think it helps people to understand it better. So a life coach is not a therapist, and a life coach is not a consultant, and it is not a mentor. Okay, so when you wrap that around your mind, then you can say like, oh, okay, well, how is it going to help me? Because like all of those different avenues I told you about, they're even giving you advice, or they're directing you to do something, or they're taking you back to a memory. But coaching forwards you into life. So it's, what are your aspirations? What are your goals? And are you ready to move forward? So it's a very action forward industry.
Okay.
Yeah.
So when it comes to that, do you individuals give you some of the things that they want you to coach them into when they come to life?
Yeah, I'm so glad you asked about that.
Okay.
So I want to do something with you, okay?
Okay.
Okay, so I have this life wheel. So basically we work from 7 dimensions. So I want to show you this, right? So you have 7 dimensions of wellness. That's physical, social, emotional, environmental, spiritual, intellectual, and occupational.
Gotcha.
Right? So if you're looking at this life wheel, where do you feel you need to improve?
Spiritual.
Spiritual, okay? So let's talk about that, right? So when you say your spiritual life, what does that look like for you? Like, what does your spiritual life look like?
I know everything that I got and getting, and some of the things that I'm helping with others and doing is come straight. I believe in God at the utmost.
Okay.
But to me, I know that I don't give him enough of my time.
Okay.
So I won't say that I come up with excuses because I work too much, I just know that he's existing, and I know what he's doing for Breakfast Brothers. But I still don't feel like I give him my time at all.
Okay, so when you say time, what does that look like? Is that a physical thing, like going to a church, or just being in a moment?
And see, when it come to that, when it come to consumer mind frame, the first thing our thought process is me. I don't go to church.
Yeah.
When I was younger, we went to church every day, Bible study, choir rehearsal,
Right.
Whatever, youth programs. To where when I was little, I used to say, man, when I get grown, I'm never going back to church, this and that.
Right.
And I programmed myself to do that. And not only I didn't go to church when I was grown, I didn't take my children to church. My children ended up going to church on their own. But I never did, so.
Okay, so do you feel like the only way for you to be present with God or spend time with God, is it just by you going to church, or are there other ways you think you can do that?
There's other ways I can do that. I think sometimes we program to feel shame upon us because we don't go to what I call a building. But when it comes to that, sometimes you can have your own relationship with God. I feel like I do, and sometimes when I get out of whack of and I'm not following directions, like my mom's last sibling, my aunt, I call her and we pray. She said, "What's wrong?" Now she don't ask me what's wrong because she just know I just want prayer. I just want to make sure that I stay humble and understand this process that I'm on,
Right.
this journey that I'm on. So,
Right.
sometimes I think we get to the point where we structure, and that's the thing we're supposed to do, is go to a building every Sunday.
So what do you want to do?
I think I'm already doing it.
And what is that?
That's me personally having my personal relationship with God, and when I need to have prayer and seek prayer, either I get it from an individual or prayer war, or I go to church and get on my knees in front of a pastor.
Okay, so can we say that that make you feel sexy? Connecting to God, like in your own way? Going to church when you need to, praying to Him when you need to, regardless of where you are?
I think I'm more personal to that part of it because, like I said, when we grew up, we was made to go to church. Some eras of time in our generation, you had made to go to church. Sometimes we used to sneak and hide and go stay all night over our friend's house on Saturday night. Come Sunday morning, get up, here's your clothes in the car, let's go.
Right.
So, I think there was so much instilled in us to where we was made to do it, to where I used to call Bible thumpers. They was the ones that pushed you into it, to where it made you, to where you just said it was less sexy to us then than it is now.
Yeah, so basically life coaching is really all about awareness. So now you tapped into it, because at first it was like, I'm having a problem with it, but you're really not having a problem with it.
I didn't think I was until just now, me and you just having that 2-minute conversation.
Right, and so that's what we do in coaching. We really just help people to bring out their own answers because we already have them. So sometimes you just need a guide. You need a friend to just help you to discover what's already inside.
Okay, all right.
Yeah.
Let's move forward. That's getting started with the Giceloves. Did I say that right?
GICE.
GICE
It's the
loves.
acronym, so it stands for Global Institute for Coaches and
Okay.
Entrepreneurs.
Okay. Now let's talk a little bit about what you explained to me what it was, but what is it? All in all, what does it do?
So the company itself, so I certify life coaches, I train, and I hire life coaches. So we're the only life coaching institute in the world that is credentialed by medical insurance. So we're able to see clients for mental and behavior wellness. So we see clients from ages 5 to 99 years old, and we're a mobile counseling service. So because we serve in underserved and underprivileged communities where there's always an obstacle, right? So we limited the obstacles. So my coaches go to your home, they go to your school, they go to your workplace, they meet our clients in the community, so everybody can be seen.
I made a joke earlier when I said, what is a life coach? It's not a football coach, but now I think about it, sitting here talking to you, a lot of athletes go through things
Absolutely.
that's not heard and people don't talk about it. Even with young athletes, they maybe get hurt, have an accident, tear their knee or whatever, and then somebody else step in their place. And then when they get well and they go back mentally, they may not get back on the field or on the court or whatever it is that they play, and they get thrown to the side. And it kind of, sometimes if you don't have someone there, it bothers that person mentally.
Yeah.
So that it changed. So to me, at every level of as an athlete, they may have mental problems because of the things that they had to go through trying to stay on the court or on the field or all that. Do you ever offer anything like that?
Oh yeah, we service all humans, right? Because we deal with all 7 dimensions
Right.
that Will you saw. So we have coaches that service athletes, police officers, firemen, teachers, doctors.
Okay.
It's a very holistic approach, rather than therapy.
Right.
So when you get into life coaching, because it's a lifestyle, it don't have to do with, because I'm having a problem. It could just be something as simple as, I want to connect more to God, and I need guidance with that,
Right.
or I'm an empty nester now, I don't know what to do with my life because all my kids are out the house. So it's definitely just a guiding type of technique that we help people just to discover what they really want to do and not be ashamed of saying it.
Okay. So you guys travel internationally.
Yes,
coaching
I am a
leaders
global.
too. So that's you did just say that.
I am a
We
global brand.
got right into that. But man, that's amazing what it is that you bring and you offer. Tell everybody how they can get in touch with you and what's coming up next for you.
Yeah, so basically, I am on Linktree. So if you go to linktree.com/simply Lakendra, you can connect to all of my social media outlets. And you can also register. So I would love for everybody to just go and subscribe to my Linktree. That way I can reach out to you personally and see how I could possibly help you. What we have coming up is my Leading with Love boutique style experience. So right now I'm on tour. So I just got back from the Philippines and Dubai, and then I'll be in Nairobi. And then we'll end the conference here November 2nd, 3rd, and 4th, right in Formers Branch. And it's just a beautiful conversation with heart center leaders, just teaching them how to lead more
Now, how
love.
can if they want to buy tickets or any passes to get into this event? Is it a website or something they can?
Yeah, so everything is on the Linktree.
Okay.
So when they subscribe and when the ticket sales hit, you can be on our mailing list to make sure that they
Okay.
can attend.
Well, Lakendra, thank you for being on the
Thank
show.
you.
And once again, we're here every week. And if you see something today that you see, we offer it on our menu as well. Similar as lobster mac and cheese and collard greens.
Yes.
We have 3 locations. First location is Arlington, 130 East Bardin Road. 6 days a week. We close on Tuesdays, 7 a.m. to 4 p.m. Our second location is in the Redburg area, 3704 West Canton Wisdom Road, Dallas, Texas. 7 days a week, 7 a.m. to 5 p.m. And our newest location is Breakfast Brothers Express and New Concept. We 7 days a week there, early a.m., 6 a.m. to 2 p.m. And on weekends, we 12 midnight to 2 p.m. in the evening. Stay tuned next week. I'm your host, Ricky.